Today, we're going to talk about Cardinals team news and touch on some local Cardinals events. Let's get into it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh.
Murray heaves it downfield. It's caught! It is caught! DeAndre Hopkins! Miraculous! It's Murray magic!
The sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome to the sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Singh, along with my fabulous co-host, Charlotte Shaff. How has your week been, Charlotte?
My week has been absolutely crazy, super busy, which I'm very thankful for. I can't believe it's Thursday. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm super excited just to enjoy the weekend because we don't have many left where it's not going to be 90 and above. So,
Right. And I happen to be in California this week in the Trophy Smack headquarters recording studio. It's a work in progress. The weather has been drunk here. It was 76 yesterday and it's 60 today.
I know it's wild. And it's always cold inside my house. Oh, dang it.
Hi, doggies. We follow along with each other on Twitter and keep up with this and that. I saw you tweet about Arizona Gives Day, which happens every year, the first Tuesday of April, often called Giving Tuesday, right? Or is that a different holiday?
I think that's a different holiday. This is Arizona Gives Day, and it's always done in April because that's right around the time that people are filing their taxes, and what a great way to give back because of the Arizona tax credit. So let's support our local nonprofits, and nonprofits really need help right now. They've seen a decline in the past few years, so always good to support our local organizations.
It really is. Charitable donations are usually dollar for dollar, if not always dollar for dollar. So it's a good time to squeeze those in before, while you're thinking of it at least. And you mentioned specifically one called Act One, and it just kind of warmed my heart. Do you want to talk a little bit about Arizona local charity Act One?
Yes. So this is a nonprofit that I just started working with, and I am absolutely blown away with the type of programs that they offer. Basically, what they do is they provide access to arts experiences across the state. And they do this through field trips for kids. They have a culture pass that you can get at your local library. And then they have virtual reality trips. The main thing to remember is a lot of times, like in a Title I school, the teachers do not have the money or the opportunity to get buses, that kind of stuff, to take kids to the actual arts. So Act One is able to basically pay for that, foot the bill, and take the kids to experience the arts. And during COVID, they created something called a VR field trip where kids would be able to wear like the Oculus type of things, and they would be able to get immersed into an art experience. And they're debuting their second season this spring, and it is all about indigenous art in Arizona. And I can't wait to see how amazing this is going to be for our kids in Arizona.
I love that so much. So if you're in the giving mood, go and check out Act One or give to your favorite local charity wherever you may be, because it's important. We're both
Absolutely.
really active in our communities. It's nice that we can shine a spotlight on it.
Yep. I hear you. I love it. Thanks for giving me that little moment to plug it. So
Every week. I want to do it every week.
okay. Love it.
Well, speaking of community, the Cardinals are also heavily involved in the community. And this was the fourth annual Intro to Girls Flag Football this past week. And I find that to be so exciting. I love that it's the fourth annual. I love that girls are getting more involved in football. I love that there's going to be an Olympic sport for women's flag football. And I just want to know, were you exposed to football as a kid? We played flag football in PE. That's pretty much all I remember about it.
So there was no flag football in PE for me, but I did learn the basics of football by playing Atari and playing the football games on Atari. That's how I figured out what a blitz was, what the downs were, passing, running, that kind of stuff. That's how I learned football. And then I did play some flag football with my sorority when I was in college.
Oh,
And I
wow.
have a wonderful memory of catching an interception and running for a touchdown. So that was my favorite part of flag football when I was
Look
young.
at that. Score one for Charlotte.
Yeah,
Did you happen to take a look at those photos? They looked so cute.
they look
So
so awesome. And you can tell that the girls are excited. And I'm so happy that everybody has these opportunities. We've got the athletes and everybody who are exposing them to the sport. It's all good in general, I say, for football.
I agree. And at first, when I saw that cheerleaders were involved, I'm like, oh no, so is it just gonna be like a cheerleading clinic, which is not a bad thing. Cheerleading clinics
Right.
are great. Cheerleading is a very athletic sport. But I was so excited to see that if they wanted to interact with the cheerleaders, they could. They're there to learn the basics of football, which our cheerleaders know as well. And then
Mm.
players like Jesse Lucetta, that was the only one that I caught a jersey from in all the pictures as I was flipping through. But I just I love seeing them in action in our community like that.
Absolutely. It really does a lot of good when we can see the different players out there doing different things. So
Well, there's a lot of players talking about a lot of things, and players on social media drive a lot of the buzz that we end up seeing after they tweet about it. And there was plenty of buzz on Twitter X about Arizona visits by top rookie wide receivers Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors. My timeline has been flooded with this news. Have you had any time to dive into this? Have you been seeing it in your feed? Are you getting the excitement bug?
I'm definitely getting excited because I feel like we've gotten past those crazy rumors like we had last week. And now people are getting serious because these players are starting to visit the different teams and they're talking to the different coaches. So we know that things are getting serious and they're definitely looking at the players that a lot of us have been talking about for weeks, months. So, I love to see when everybody posts the stories of the players at the Arizona headquarters. That's always fun. And just to hear, I think that I saw recently that I think it was JC Latham. I think he was visiting with the Cardinals. So
You're
that's
right.
pretty cool too.
Yes, you're right. And something I loved during the free agency period several weeks ago was players saying that they wanted to come to Arizona, that they were excited to come to Arizona. And that has a lot to do with the new culture that they're trying to build and the new coaching staff and the new, GMs and coaches and front office and back office. And while we can't necessarily change ownership and a lot of people blame some of the negativity on ownership, I think outside of that, they're really trying to revamp the entire culture and people are hearing about it within the league and they're excited to come here.
Absolutely. I mean, and nothing happens overnight and you can't build culture overnight. So we just have to know that we got to put the different pieces together and see how it works. And then when they get on the field, let's see how they do and go from there. So I'm feeling very optimistic.
Me
Definitely a
too.
season ticket holder. So
It's definitely like a very optimistic vibe. And we've talked about that more than once, just even the end of the season going into this season.
mhm.
And things are really just picking up steams. Outside of that,
Yeah.
potential new team members, we heard news wide receiver Greg Dortch. Let's light the Dortch the torch.
Yeah.
signed a new 1-year contract, which is typical as they, I hate to say age, but
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing this a while.
he's been doing it a
It's
while, but
okay.
he's
That's
so
okay.
fun to watch. So fun.
He is. And a really cool thing that I saw on Twitter also is that he's taking over Rondell's number. So he's going to be 4. And fun fact, that was the number that he wore in high school back in Virginia. So yay.
I love that. I feel like they have the opportunity to like call dibs on open numbers.
I would think
Um,
so.
yeah. And so then since Rondale has made the move away from the Cardinals, which makes me sad, this
I know.
opens up a great opportunity for Greg Dortch, and for him to be able to wear a number that's sentimental to him has to be additionally motivating and exciting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything we can do to get them psyched up and excited and feeling confident.
I think jersey numbers, it becomes like a really big deal as you're leaving high school. And if you played in college, I know from year to year, I played high school basketball, and from freshman through senior, like that was my number. I was number 45, baby Barkley out there throwing bows, and nobody else was allowed to wear my number. Did
Mm.
you have any experiences like that too? Did you cling to a number?
I always ran track, so there were no numbers. But a funny thing is my brother-in-law, he is obsessed with sports and he can remember everybody's numbers. And so when you ever tell him like a gate code or a pass code or anything like that, he will say the number and then he'll equate it to athletes for it. So it's hilarious. Like 1123, Larry Fitzgerald. And who is it? I forgot. Oh, Michael Jordan. Sorry. It's
That's so
hilarious.
funny. I love that though. I think I need to adopt something like that. I'm horrible at remembering numbers.
So there you go. There's your tip of the day. If you can't remember numbers, equate it to an athlete's numbers and say that.
Write that down, everybody. Tip of the day. I love this. Things, I mean, we talk about numbers, we talk about jersey switches, we talk about culture changes. I feel like players are getting excited, fans are getting excited. You said you weren't able to be in attendance, but I saw you retweet the official details about the Cardinals draft party. Fill
Yes.
us in on what you know.
Okay. It's free to attend, but you do have to get a digital ticket.
Okay.
And you can find that on the Cardinals website. And then it's going to take place on the Great Lawn outside of the stadium from 4 to 9. And the draft starts at 5. So admission and parking are both free.
That's great. And then they actually went a step further in there. How many picks will they be showing at the draft party? And is that like spaced out then according to when they're live
Yeah,
drafting, I'm
Good
assuming?
question. Good question. So they're estimating the time for the 4th pick is going to be around 5:28, and the 27th pick is going to be around 8:04.
So we get our first 2 picks. I'm sure they'll have it on a big screen or something.
Oh, they will for sure.
Yeah, I love that. I'm so bummed that I'm not going in person to the draft. So I really am making an effort. And I'm glad you said you needed a digital ticket. So I need
Mhm.
to make sure to get mine today before I forget.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Before we go, I want everybody to know that we have a show sheet. We talk about our topics, we bookmark things throughout the week. Charlotte texted me and asked if we could do a topic that's near and dear to her, and I wanted to save it for next week. But why don't you give us a teaser and tell us what we should be doing in the meantime between now and next week?
Okay. Well, one of the most famous Cardinals and probably ASU players that we all know and love is Pat Tillman. And back in the day when I worked in TV, I used to do this really cool segment with him, and it was called Tell Me Tillman. And it aired every Monday after the regular season football. And we had viewers write in with questions for him, and we would go out, myself and Craig Fooey from 15, and we
Mhm.
would ask him one of the questions, and then that person won an autographed jersey from Pat.
That is
So,
so fun. I would love it if next week, if you would dial in on any of your, special memories, special stories. I think people would really love to hear that. And right now, if it hasn't already sold out, they need to get signed up for Pat's
yeah.
Run. Do you have any details on that?
Unfortunately, I don't know officially if they're sold out or not.
Me
Usually
either.
that gets picked up pretty quickly.
I'll Google it. I'm going to Google it right now. Okay. I've Googled quick fingers in podcast time. Pat's Run 2024 has nearly sold out. Registration ends April 13th at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. 4.2-mile race. It costs $52. And then the kids run is less than a half a mile,
Mhm.
$15. And there's also a virtual run to raise money for the Pat Tillman Foundation. It is $42. And you get like all the swag and things that come along with a race, even if you're doing the virtual race, from what I understand.
And if you're volunteering many times, you can get some of that stuff too, which I've done in the past.
Oh,
So,
wow, that's exciting.
yeah.
So go out there, support the Pat Tillman Foundation, whether virtually or in person. Time's running out. They're almost sold out of race space because those streets get packed.
Yes, they do. It's an amazing event though. People love it because when you end the race, you end it in the stadium. And it's just energetic and inspiring and exciting. And it's one of the most wonderful experiences you could have in Phoenix.
I love that. Love it so much. Well, it has been another amazing week. If anyone out there listening has an idea for a show topic, or you just want to talk about a little bit more of what we shared today, you can find me at Kelly in Phoenix on the app formerly known as Twitter. You can find Charlotte at Char Shaff, CHARSHAFF, and the show at Sick Pod Kelly. If you're watching us on YouTube, that's awesome. You can also listen on your favorite podcast apps, all of them. You can find Sick Pod Kelly. Is there anything else we should say, Charlotte, before we go?
Just go out and enjoy this amazing weather. And who do you want to win in the Final Four?
I wanted Arizona, but I have Purdue and another money bracket still alive.
Yeah, Midwest girl. I'm going for Purdue. So,
all right, let's go. I'm going to line my pockets and you're going to have some pride.
perfect.
Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, all of those things. Bye.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.